So hopefully this week is gonna be a bit more productive than last week. I think it will be. I think the electricity issues with the village have been solved, and the weather is gonna be absolutely fantastic. That means sunny and cool. And I'm quite motivated. What I'm gonna start with is stripping this window. You see, I took those windows out of that hole over there, and these windows they were covered with a green paint. Somehow this minty green paint seemed to be very popular in France, at least in the time when these windows were painted, because this door here is also green, and the door that I bought from the brocante was green before I painted it white. Anyway, it was all painted green, including the locking mechanism. It was also green painted, and yeah, I thought it's not an important window. I'm just gonna cover it with white paint and be done with it in a few days. But then I realized, you know, what a shame it is. I mean, it's just not neat to cover everything with paint. It's better just to scrape it off and start from scratch with paint. And also this frame, mechanism, yeah, it's a shame. Why would I cover that with paint? I should just grind it clean, polish it clean, and then treat it with a protective oil, because it's just just a nice feature that could be displayed. The working of the mechanism is not very important, I must say, because yeah, this is not a window that we're gonna open, right? This is a window on the street side. Why would we open that if we can also open, well, the back door for fresh air if you wanted to? Yeah, this is not really a window that's gonna be used a lot. But yeah, it's just a shame. It's just a shame not to do it properly straight from the beginning. So I'm just gonna invest a little bit of time and then be proud of myself. I'm gonna strip this whole door. I'm gonna take off this additional glass plate. I'm not gonna need that. It's cracked anyway. Yeah, I'm gonna strip it. I'm gonna take off the mechanism, clean it up, and do a proper job on the door. Yeah, so today it's either woodworking or working on the walls. Yeah, I'm gonna work on the walls. This is, well, the big house, ground floor, sorry. And that is a wall, and that is also a wall, and we're gonna have a walkway along the parameters of this room. So along these walls into the entrance of the bathroom. And also here in the middle house, this wall still needs to be done. Gonna clean that up and also give that a layer of the primer that I already put on these walls. Yeah, so hopefully I can get that all finished today. Oh, and in those walkways as well, and that walkway from middle house to big house. Yeah, well, I hope I can get that all finished. So last time, I think last year, when I was rendering with lime, it wouldn't really stick. So I bought and applied a primer. This is a primer, and the primer sticks on really well, and it provides a bit of grip for render to stick on. So I've primed that wall, this wall, most of it. And then yesterday I was running a little low on primer, and I decided to give it a try, just sticking on lime render. So that's 1 part of lime to 3 parts of sand and water. And it actually worked really well. You can see here these areas. They are done with lime render. And the yellow color is caused by the sand. Kind of a yellowish sand. But today I'm going to slap on some finish coat. Pure lime with water. I've just mixed it up, and I need to let it sit for half an hour because it will still thicken in. And then, well, the idea is that it becomes a smooth wall, but not straight. We don't want to have straight lines in the house. We want to keep everything organic. Hopefully that's gonna create quite a difference. And at the same time, I'm just waiting for the paint and the caulking of these windows to cure. And then we can hopefully get them in day after tomorrow, and then before the weekend, before this episode is finished, I'll have this wall nice and white and done, these windows in and completely refurbished. Yeah, well, I still need to do that door, right? I need to stick on another wooden panel here, install some trim and paint it white. Well, and I gotta render the rest of the walls, of course. And I've got to build the door frame and break open that wall to install the refurbished door. Yeah, that's gonna be next week, probably, hopefully. But slowly we're getting there. And it's only a small space, and it's not gonna be very advanced. It's just redoing the walls, the floor, the ceiling, putting a door in here, putting a door in there, and building a staircase. But still, it's a lot of work. Yeah, it takes longer than what you want it to take. But then, yeah, that's when you have to make an estimate and you're involved in it yourself. You're emotionally involved in it. It becomes hard to make a realistic estimate. But anyway, we just carry on, and if I can have the whole middle house ground floor finished in the next 3 weeks, then I'm happy and on schedule, sort of. Yeah, so just let's give this another stir. Okay, beautiful, it's time to go outside. This is not a really good place for you to be right now. Yeah, we need to do a lot of work here. Come back later, okay? Bye, Bubbles. So I got my windows back in place. Here and there I have damaged the paint somewhat because it takes a good 2 weeks, right, before paint is fully cured. Yeah, I can just touch it up a little with these windows in place. I got my locking system back. What I did with the locking system is I cleaned it all up, removed the old paint and then treated it with Owatrol, which is some sort of an oil that dries in, becomes hard somehow. Supposedly you can just smear it over rust and it will protect the metal from rusting even further. And I really like that effect. A can of that stuff is not cheap, but it will last very long. And you get this, this metal look with a layer of protection. It's a tiny bit shiny, but not glossy. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with that. The only stupid mistake I've made is I have not taken off these locking brackets. Here one and here one. I've painted over them. I don't know why. I don't know how I can be so stupid. I should have taken them off, cleaned them up as well. So I still have to do that because I want the whole thing to be in the same color. Yeah, and I need to put a bead of silicone caulking around these windows on the inside as well, just to make it a little bit more tidy. But overall, I'm fairly happy. Yeah. It's a lot better than what it was. So further, what have I done this week is I slapped on many coats of lime on the walls. So now, when you render a wall, an interior wall, and you want to do that properly, or as you see in most houses, you put battens on the wall, and then you slap your render on in between, and then you use those battens to pull a float straight so that you get a straight wall. All those battens should sort of lined up, right? And then your wall becomes super straight. Once your render has set, you remove the battens and you fill up the gaps where they were sitting. And then you get a straight wall, but that's not what we want. We don't want a straight wall. That would just not make sense in this house, and we don't like that style. We want to have it all organic shaped. So what I've done is I've slapped on a big fat coat of lime, let it dry in a little bit, just a couple of hours. And then with a brush I have just softened the high parts, basically just feathered it out a little bit, make it more flat. And then I let it dry, and then you see all these cracks, they appear in the lime, and that's because the lime is contracting while the moisture evaporates. There's a lot of moisture in this. There's in volume 1 part lime to 2.5 parts of water. So there's an awful lot of moisture in this lime, and that needs to come out. So, and then you get this, these cracks, but that's fine. Let's leave that cracking. Today I'm going over it with some more lime to fill up those cracks. It will keep on cracking, but that's perfectly fine. We just let it cure, we just let it dry for a couple of weeks, and then we start filling all the parts that need to be filled, all the cracks. Let that dry, and then I'll give it probably a layer of a special paint for lime to make it all even, because there's a little bit of a color difference in areas. So yeah, this is really the worst part where you see the cracking, and that's because it has gone up here really thick. The thicker you do it, the bigger the cracks. Now if you look at the wall behind me, this one here, I have done exactly the same, slapped it on, feathered it out, and slapped on another coat on top of it, a thinner coat, feathered that out with a brush yesterday, and it's still super damp, and I'm not saying that it won't crack, but I think the chance of cracking is a lot less. But anyhow, if it were to crack, we'll just repair that later. I've done the same in the bathroom. There's no big deal. It just looks a bit disturbing. I don't like the look of it, so if I can get them out right now, it'll be better. But anyway, this render has to dry out for at least a month, and then I can fix it and repair it and sand it a bit more smooth, and then give it a coat of paint. Now by that time we're already working in other parts of the house. I need to start rendering upstairs as well. I've rendered also here in the what's gonna be the guest bedroom. We're not 100% sure of how we do the layout in here yet, because we need to provide a passage to the bathroom over there behind that curtain as well. But yeah, I've slapped on the first coat here on this wall behind me, and I'm going to continue today further with this wall up until yeah, the entrance of the bathroom here behind me, so I can work on that corner, finish that off neatly, and then we call it a week. Tomorrow it's Saturday. Tomorrow I need to edit this video. Needs to go online on Sunday, and Sunday I've got to clean the house and the chicken coop and do some shopping, groceries. It's been a fairly tough week. Rendering is just hard work, mixing the components. You're lifting a lot. It's just a lot of yeah, it's just hard work, but we've survived it. Thank you very much for watching, for subscribing, for liking. A massive thanks to the people who are supporting with a cup of coffee. If you think I deserve it, you could buy me a cup of coffee as well. That would be very much appreciated, helping me to keep this channel going. All right, we'll go back in fast forward with a little bit of music, and you'll see me slapping on some more lime. See you next week. Bye now.